Well, straight away, take you to northern Ghana and to the Upper East region, where voter registration has also been generally smooth in the regional capital, Bolga, but the issue of spacing to maintain social distancing between applicants queuing to register also remain a challenge, just like we've experienced in many areas across the country. So we have joining us on Zoom, Albert Sorry is our main correspondent from the region. And Albert, if we are now getting these observations, even the Ghana Medical Association observing all these, it means that there still would be these reactions, mixed ones of observations from the region. Is that so?
Exactly. One of the things that I realized in my rounds was that the Ghana card mop-up exercise is also going on at the moment. And so there are some registration centers that were also located close to where they were doing the Ghana card registration. So you find so many people who gather at the place at the same time. Now, it's like a lot of people, especially where they were doing the Ghana card, needed to get their registration done as soon as possible before the mop-up exercise closes. Then once they do that and they want to leave, they just decide to take advantage of the voter registration also going on to join the queue. So then you now have a situation where so many people are almost clamoring to get themselves onto either the voters register or the Ghana card register. So this was one of the things. Now, in one of the polling stations, the one you are, the registration center, sorry, the one you are seeing on the screen, that is the Adabasi Primary Registration Center. When I initially arrived, most of the people who were lined up to register didn't have places to sit. So there wasn't an organized way of doing things. Everybody who came wanted to quickly join the queue. So what it then meant was that if anybody created a space because of trying to maintain social distancing, if you don't watch, somebody will come and join the queue in front of you because of the space you have created there. So even when, in some instances, when the security people were trying to get people to maintain the social distancing, a lot of people didn't want to leave a gap because they were afraid somebody was going to come and join the queue in front of them. So this was one of the things. And in most of the registration centers, this was the situation. So you would find that the health personnel who were also there to check people's temperature would just go ahead anyway to try and check their temperature while they were in the queue in the crowded situation like that. So this was the general situation. But the registration itself, in terms of people doing it and getting their ID card, there weren't any issues at all. People would normally go through smoothly. But the problem just had to do with maintaining the distancing because of the coronavirus situation.
I know you did mention about health personnel perhaps present at some of these centers to check temperatures, etc. We noticed since we started covering this the early part of the morning that the health personnel, and indeed the Electoral Commission had promised about 7,000 of them to be dispatched or deployed to some of these centers. Were they health personnel or they are officials of the commission, as in officers?
In the Adabasi polling registration center, which I earlier talked about, I saw that the person who was checking was wearing the nurse's uniform. In one of the other places, that is experimental primary, the person wasn't wearing a uniform. But because of the nature of the crowd, they don't even pay attention when you want to grant an interview as a journalist, because there was so much, sort of confusion because people are trying to maintain their place in the queue and all of that, and the health personnel are still trying to get them checked. So I couldn't find out whether this other person was a Ghana Health Service personnel. But I did see in one of the registration centers a nurse who was wearing the green and white uniform, and she was checking people for their temperature, etc.
Well, thank you, Albert. Sorry, our main man monitoring events, the registration that is ongoing for voters, and he's stationed in Bolga and its environs, monitoring the situation for us in the Upper East region. Thank you very much, Albert. Sorry.